Shin Megami Tensei III Nocturne HD Remaster released last week for Nintendo Switch, PS4, and PC, and there is a lot to discover. However, the game has a reputation for being hard and for good reason. So whether this is your first time playing a mainline SMT game, or if you started out with Persona, here are 5 tips and tricks you should know to improve your experience with Shin Megami Tensei III Nocturne. Buffing and debuffing is essential for boss fights in this game. As with any RPG, boosting your defense or lowering your enemy's attack power is very important. However, in Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, that importance is emphasized. I'd even say that buffing and debuffing is pretty much a necessity for boss fights. In this game, buffs and debuffs stack up to 4 times and stay active for as long as the fight goes on, until your demon is killed, or if a skill is used that negates them. This is a big contrast from the modern Persona games where buffs only lasted for 3 turns and did not stack. Also, it's worth pointing out that buffing skills automatically target your entire party, as opposed to Persona where skills like Tarukaja, Tsukukaja, and Rakukaja only targeted one party member. This makes buffing a bit more streamlined and overall much easier to use because you don't have to worry about recasting them as much. As you already know at this point, negotiations are an essential part of the gameplay of Nocturne. The game's emphasis on shaping your party how you see fit means that you'll be doing a lot of negotiations, however random they may be. The first thing you should know is when you are trying to recruit demons, you generally want to kill all of the other demons that you're fighting to keep them from interrupting your negotiations. It's still possible to negotiate with a full group of demons you're fighting, but considering that you lose all of your turns if they do interrupt you, it's just not worth the risk. Something else to keep in mind is the amount of different skills you can use to interact with the demons you fight. Skills like Seduce, Kidnap, Scout, or Kinspeak can all be used to recruit demons, but certain skills like Maiden Plea and Nag can also be used to calm down a demon if negotiations aren't going too well. Also, if you want to cut down on the enemies you're fighting, try speaking with the same demon that's on your team, and sometimes they give you items, money, or even heal you before leaving. The Kagutsuchi cycle affects everything in the story as well as the game. You notice the symbol on the top left of the screen changes as you play, and it's basically moon phases that change as you walk, whether it be in dungeons, towns, or the world map. It plays a part in battles as well as outside. In battles with full Kagutsuchi, enemies are more aggressive and wild, making negotiations a bit more tricky. It also makes escaping a bit harder as well. There are also demon skills such as Dark Might that, when used in a battle with new Kagutsuchi, all of that demon's physical attacks will be guaranteed critical hits. Something I found useful when trying to get into battles with a specific Kagutsuchi phase is going to the world map and moving around a bit. This is because the phases go by much quicker on the world map, so if you want to get into a full Kagutsuchi battle or a new Kagutsuchi battle, try running around the world map until the Kagutsuchi phase is 2 before full or new, and then you should be able to get into the battle you want. This method will also work if you want to try Sacrificial Fusion at the Cathedral of Shadows, which only works with the full Kagutsuchi. The fact that the phases pass by quicker on the world map means that you'll have to deal with less random encounters. It also affects the mystical chests that you can find around the world. If you open one of these chests at a full Kagutsuchi, you'll get really good items, so it might be worth running around in circles until you get that moon phase. Magatama, the essence of demonic power, is useful for learning new skills for the Demi-Fiend. You'll be able to collect a lot of them as you play, and they have different uses. Some are good for learning offensive magic spells, some for offensive physical skills, and some even for healing skills. It will also affect your weaknesses and resistances, so before heading into that boss fight, you might change your setup because it can make all of the difference. One thing to note is when the Magatamas are shining and moving rapidly, that means that you'll learn a new skill soon with that Magatama. Also, skills learned through the Magatama cannot be relearned later on, so it's very important that you know what build you want to go for your character early on, whether that's magic focus or physical focus. Lastly, with the Magatama, after leveling up, you'll see that it wants to act violently and the game will ask if you want to let it continue. For the most part, you want to pick yes because it generally will fully recover you and sometimes fully recover your active party as well. However, sometimes it can backfire and leave you with a status effect, but most of the time, I just let it do what it wants. I won't say too much about Pixie, but she's the first demon you recruit to your side in this game, and after she accomplishes her mission, she asks if you two will part ways. I highly recommend keeping her because she's just a great demon to have by your side in the beginning because of her starting skills, which get even better if you let her evolve into High Pixie. As a matter of fact, I recommend keeping her for the entire game and never parting with her. This is something that even Atlas has hinted at on their Twitter, so for good reason, you should hold on to her. You might see something cool happen if you do. And that has been 5 helpful tips for those just getting into Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne for the first time. Thank you all so much for watching, and make sure you subscribe to GameXplain and ring the bell for a lot more on Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne and other things gaming too. Till next time.